Picture the Llano Estacado, right? It's a lovely desert right now, and it's brown and dry and flat. However, it looked more like this with water. We were in ocean, we had a reef, and we may not have had a megalodon, but we certainly had ocean animals. So picture the skeleton all fleshed out, coming at you. You are just a snack. And so here we are today, back in the desert, with fossils of this giant shark. So this is Megalodon, 60 feet long, probably just an adolescent, and terrifying. I mean, he's not alive today, thankfully, because this is terrifying. I am almost 6 feet. This is terrifying. I am a toothpick. I'm so happy he's not alive, because Bruce over there, who you'll see in a second, is terrifying enough. I can't imagine this guy being in the ocean right now. But he was. And this is a full 60 feet. You can see all the way through to his tail. And we'll start walking you through it and show you some of the fun facts.
Let's get consumed. So, cool fun fact I like to point out to people is the teeth right here. These are touchable teeth. When you come through the exhibit, you can touch them.
We sanitize.
We do sanitize. These aren't even full-grown megalodon teeth. These are adolescent teeth. So when we say adolescent, think between probably a 13-year-old to a 20-year-old. And that's the size of teeth megalodon would have had in that time frame.
So you say 13 to 25. How do we know how long they lived?
Well, the easiest question I can give you is actually the spine back here. The megalodon spine is a lot like a tree. If you actually cut a tree in half, you will see little rings, and you can count the rings. Well, when you come to the exhibit, if you come to the exhibit, this top spine here is a megalodon spine, and you can look through here and see all the little teeny tiny rings, and you can count them.
All right, so we know how long they lived thanks to their spine. How do we know how long they were?
We know how long they were based off doing math with their teeth. So these are all different sizes of megalodon teeth. And how scientists have figured it out is what you would do is you would take a megalodon tooth and you would measure it from the root. This is a root of a tooth. This is the tooth part that eats, and this is the part that's in the skull. So you measure it from the bottom, and then there's this mathematical equation, which is this. And then what they would do is they'd graph it out, and then they'd figure it out that this size of a tooth, is 60 foot.
Okay, so we have teeth and we have spine, vertebrae. We don't really have many other bones from Megalodon. Why would that be?
Because Megalodon's made out of cartilage. So if you would wiggle your nose or wiggle your ears, that material right there, that spongy material, is cartilage. It just disintegrates over time.
Sure. So that's like sharks today, right?
Yeah. Sharks today only really have their spine and their teeth, and sometimes you can have the jaw left over.
But the teeth are pretty plentiful, which is actually how we know where Megalodon was 65 million years ago. Let's walk over here. The Earth may have looked a little bit different as continents shift a little bit, but this is where we've found teeth today. So we are over here. We're in this area. Like I said, we wouldn't have Megalodon teeth because we're a shallow ocean. They couldn't have come here. But we have California, right there. And that's a pretty big one, so we found a big one there. Florida. And then we come over here to the European continent, Africa. We've got...
There's some in Japan and New Caledonia, down there by Australia.
I mean, obviously you can see they were everywhere. So the Earth looked different. There was water in places that there aren't now, which is a really fun fact.
They call Megalodon just like Great White. He's a cosmopolitan shark because he actually was all over the world, as you can see.
So we still continue to talk about Megalodon, but we also tie him into modern sharks or other extinct sharks. So we're going to walk you around and show you some of our other shark friends in the exhibit.
We have MC Hammerpants.
He's my favorite.
Because he's singing opera.
He is having a good time. His lipstick's a little off, but you know. So these, again, aren't full-size sharks. These would be adolescents.
The only one that's close to full size is Sandy, which is by my office.
All right.
Another thing you can do if and when you come to the exhibit is try to compare your size to sharks.
I'm taller than an earth shark.
But not a full-grown one.
I'm taller than an adolescent nurse shark.
And the difference between this great white shark and Bruce is an adolescent, and the great white shark on the wall is not even a full-grown shark because we can't reach 22 feet in this room.
This is so scary. I mean, I'm not scared of the ocean, but man.
Another thing you can also do is we have a research station where you can come look at shark teeth. All of the drawers are exactly the same.
Right, so we've got 8 drawers in each that each have, so drawer number 1's the same on each one, drawer number 2, etc. But you can have fun, you can pull out all the drawers, check them out.
Little bitty teeth. That's a cast from Scotland.
And then you can match them to what's up here. You can take a closer look in some of our magnifying glasses. We've got prehistoric sharks over here, ancient sharks as they're called. My personal favorite is Scissortooth up there because I can't figure out how he eats.
I think he's a dolphin.
Someone tell me how he eats.
And then you have Scrubrush and Fred, which are inside.
And this guy, I mean, they found this. They think it's a shark, but they don't know where it went on him. Paleontology is super cool because, again, we had cartilage. We don't know exactly what these guys looked like.
Sure. Then you have my favorite shark I like to talk about and bring attention to people is the goblin shark right here. His mouth can extend to the length of his nose. So it's kind of like Alien. So his mouth will like extend and pull back.
That's the length of his nose?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that fact. That's fun. Because, I mean, his mouth is already extended out.
Yep.
Imagine it coming all the way out there. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
Why do we call him Bruce?
Fish are friends, not food.
Fish are friends, not food.
This case talks about sharks being batoids. Not Batman, batoids. Batoids are stingrays, sawfish, and sharks, along with guitarfish and manta rays. And if you want to know what a guitarfish is, it's number 7. It's this one right here in the middle. They're grinders. Think of a cow. They grind their food.
I was going to say, so he has different teeth. He doesn't really have teeth necessarily.
True.
Which is really neat.
And that's a bull shark. But they're all batoids because of the size of their jaw shape and how they eat meat and how they scavenge for meat. Even the whale shark is a batoid.
The whale shark is the largest shark in the world right now, alive. Yeah.
The funnest thing I like to point out to people when I give them a tour is this case. Specifically, just this line of Megalodon teeth right here.
Why? What's so fun about them?
The bottom 2 teeth right here are, in our age group, would be 1 to 5.
Okay.
So they're considered baby teeth.
Babies. Got it.
This next group is between the ages of 10 to 15 to 10 to 20.
In human years.
In human years.
Right.
And the top 2, this bottom one here is around the age of 25. The top one is a 65-year-old shark tooth.
Ooh,
the
he
top
can retire.
Exactly. The top one is actually one of a rare tooth because it's a bottom teeth on sharks.
Ah, and see, I can explain why that's rare. Because sharks have different layers of teeth because they're doing so much chomping and biting that their teeth wear out and kind of fall out or pull out as they're eating. And so they need all those teeth to replace others as they fall out. And the bottom teeth didn't fall out as much.
They don't fall out as much.
And so that's why that's rare. So we find top teeth a lot, but those bottom teeth stayed in.
But the fact that you can see an age lineage of sharks, or of one shark, is crazy.
Yeah.
So Megalodon went extinct for multiple reasons.
But extinct means...
No longer around. You cannot find them.
Right.
Like the dodo bird.
Right.
So all of the animals other than the cow that you see here are animals on the endangered list. These guys are in danger of going extinct.
Right. And so part of our exhibit actually talks about how we can help endangered animals. We don't want them to go extinct. And we're also going to talk about why sharks are being hunted, basically. Shark predators are pretty much what themselves.
Whenever we got to talk to Florida, the Florida Museum, which gave us this exhibit, they said it wasn't just climate change. It was also the fact that the word is cannibalism, but it was because they would eat their young. They weren't able to reproduce fast enough, so they literally made themselves go extinct.
So they started to go extinct. All right.
Kind of like the great white is the same type of animal that does that in the ocean now.
But there are other reasons today that sharks are dying off or going extinct. And that's us, humans. The exhibit will talk about how some cultures make shark fin soup or use other parts of the shark, and they're being overhunted. And so we need to be aware of what's in our food, where it's coming from, how it was farmed or fished. So part of this, again, is about preservation and conservation and making sure these animals don't go extinct.
Exactly. If it had been a normal year, we would have been able to give everyone little flyers and leaflets about what seafood to eat. There's certain seafood that you should eat and certain seafood you shouldn't eat. Shrimp is one of them. Crawdads are another one. Tuna, bluefin tuna, you actually should not eat because that's what a lot of modern day sharks hunt. And because humans eat bluefin tuna, we take away their food, so they have lack of food and they can't find their food.
Right, and not only loss of food, but we're changing their environment with how we're fishing even, or the chemicals that we're putting into the water. So all of these things combined are things that we can change. You can change. One person. It just takes one person to start the change.
Yep.
So as we continue, we've got a little bit more of the exhibit left. Oh, we didn't show your nurse shark.
Oh, this is the nurse shark. This is Sandy. He's the only non-adolescent.
So this part of the exhibit ties Megalodon into some modern sharks. Not necessarily siblings or close family, but related in the fact that...
They're all lamnoids.
There you go.
Which means they are all meat eaters and they all have triangular teeth. They are mackerel sharks, Megalodon, great white, basking shark, the thresher, and the bluefin mako. They're all mackerel sharks because they have 2 dorsal fins and they have 5 gill slits. Along with the fact that their jaw shape is this weird ovally triangle shape, if you can see it. Because this is a great white here. This is the porbeagle, not a dog. And then this is the mako. And then that's a megalodon tooth. If you were able to look at all of their teeth closely, the megalodon teeth and the great white, the porbeagle, and the mako are all triangular in shape, and they are serrated on one or both sides.
Oh, and check out the rows we were talking about, if you can see them. Just rows and rows of teeth. As humans, we have 2. We have our baby teeth and our adult teeth.
But they don't look like this.
They certainly do not. So speaking of jaws, let's take you out and show you some megalodon jaws.
Banum, banum. Banana.
All those rows of jaws. Rows of jaws. Rows of teeth.
Rows of jaws and rows of teeth.
Look at all those teeth.
The first 3 jaws you see here at this moment are actually real megalodon teeth. The last jaw is replicas.
So it's interesting that you said that lower jaw teeth are more rare because it looks like, they just have the same. There's rows up there, there's rows down there.
I think it's more due to the fact that the top jaw does more work than the bottom jaw.
Sure, I could see that. Because your top jaw is going to be the one,
extending.
Scraping.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's just giant.
And terrifying. Ginormously terrifying. Yeah. You could just swim straight through it. Well, Erin, based off the teeth, do we know how much Megalodon might have eaten or ate?
Oh, we do. Man, he ate a lot. Speaking of tuna, this is a representation of how much Megalodon would have eaten in a day.
In a day, around.
1 day. This is 2,000 pounds of tuna, which is almost an elephant. Picture a megalodon eating an elephant a day. He wouldn't have eaten an elephant because he was in the water and elephants were the weight of an elephant in a day. He was not eating tiny fish or plankton. He was eating other sharks and whales, and he really didn't have many enemies. Let's just put it that way. He was top of the food chain in the water.
So how do we know about Megalodon today is based off the shark teeth that we find. So cool thing, if you actually look for arrowheads, not all arrowheads are going to be made out of stone or rocks or geodes. Your Native Americans, depending on where you were at the time, used shark teeth So we actually have some specimens of what would have been like shark teeth arrows or shark teeth spears.
I mean, it's already serrated for you. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Now, some fossilized shark teeth, megalodon teeth, could still cut you today, right? I mean, they're sharp enough that they could cut you.
So it goes from ancient megalomania, get it, megalomania, to modern day megalomania, which is our crazy stuff. We have movies, we have books, we have video games about Megalodon. And then you have biker groups making Megalodon stuff and artifacts.
That jacket is super cool. Come on.
Oh, I agree. Then you have a t-shirt, and then you have people making glass Megalodon teeth or concrete teeth, or people find shark teeth and make jewelry out of them. Or belts.
One of our favorites, though, is the bumper sticker.
I love the bumper sticker.
Love the bumper sticker.
And then one of the last things we talk about is, when did Megalodon live?
Okay, so there's lots of rumors that Megalodon is still alive. There's been some spoof documentaries by Discovery Channel, which is, a pretty
Trustworthy
source. There's been sightings, supposedly. You can find YouTube sightings. And of course, you've got the movies and all the other megalomania. Is he still alive?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I believe what scientists have found, that he did die off.
He survived here in the Cenozoic era, but he was between the Miocene and the Pliocene era. We actually live here in the Pleistocene. We live here. Megalodon is between these two eras.
So was Megalodon alive with people?
No.
No. Was Megalodon alive with Tyrannosaurus Rex?
No, because Tyrannosaurus Rex lived here in the crustacean.
Crustacean?
Crustaceous.
Cretaceous.
Yes.
So scientists have found that Megalodon did go extinct, and we know that because of layers that we find the fossils in. We know it because of carbon dating the teeth. There's lots of reasons, and yes, some areas of the ocean are unexplored. If he was still alive, we would probably notice it.
He would be as big as a submarine.
And he would be eating a lot.
I think most of our whales would have gone extinct by now.
A lot. So, according to science, and what we agree with, is that he is extinct. But you can come out and see what he would have been like here at the Western Heritage Museum and Lee County Cowboy Hall of Fame, now through the end of summer. Be consumed.
Be consumed. Just that tooth. Oh my gosh. That vertebrae. I thought that was a pelvis.